Okay, I'm back. That was pretty quick. Hold on. Actually, I'm still kind of getting myself ready here. Get my microphone back in the right position here. Hold on. Maybe. Okay. What am I looking for? Oh, pen. Yes, because I want to have my notebook ready here, because I want to take notes while I'm playing this game. You're right about that. I really needed to clear my throat here. Because I already did my talking. Already. Building a really cheap Gundam. Oh, anyway. Game. Begin. Alright, so we finished up Trial 1 finally last week, so we need to move on to the second trial. The second adventure of the emerging attorney Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm curious to see what happens next. The Avenger of the Unbreakable Speckled Band. Why is it unbreakable? And why is it speckled? I'm sure we'll find out. Episode 2.
In a corner of that small, dark room, Sholmes and I waited with bated breath.
Sholmes!
In time, there came from the ventilator a hiss and a soft, almost growl-like sound. Suddenly, Sholmes sprang into action, lashing furiously with his cane at a point in the darkness. "You see it, Wilson?" he yelled, his tense voice reverberating through the air. I raised my dark lantern's shutter, and the room slowly came into view. Sholmes was staring intently at one particular corner when he started whispering to me. The victim's most perplexing final words. The speckled band.
Speckled band.
I believe this is the terrible coil to which you referred, Wilson. In front of us was an enormous adder, its fangs bared as it threatened to strike. It truly was the most terrible speckled band I had ever seen.
Sorry, I'm just messing around with my messing around with my mic a little bit. Looks like it's picking up some background noise. I don't know where it's coming from. Hopefully it doesn't really... That's not too... Doesn't stand out too much on the stream.
Let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder. Pray, do excuse me. The cabin door was bolted from the inside when the man was killed. No marks to suggest the bolt was tampered with in any way. So, this would appear to be a locked room mystery. In his final moments, the victim scrawled a message on the floor. Almost certainly with the ink from this upset bottle.
How often does that really happen? I mean, come on.
Russian word. So the victim was a Russian man then, and the letters are well formed.
The dying person writes
Compos mentis at the time.
letters out.
This is a most extraordinary script. And evidently not penned by the same hand as this message. In fact, I deduce it was written by someone of a different nationality. This paper seal was placed just prior to the incident, by the victim himself, I would venture. Well, what have we here?
Who are you, and what do you think you're doing here?
What do I think you are doing here?
Before maritime police come, we must wait.
that won't be necessary. You see, in less than 5 seconds from now, I will reveal the killer to you.
What? Don't be absurd. This is murder. I need cabin locked from inside.
Ah yes, the locked room. But that mystery is paper thin.
You don't mean the culprit is in there?
Who are you, and where have you come from?
I'm a great British consultant detective, the only one in the world. Sherlock Holmes. I presume you must have heard of me.
No, not really. Who? Who are you? I don't know who is talking here. I can presume this is a Ryunosuke? It would make sense to kind of see where he is. Ugh, my head is throbbing. What's going on? Something's not right here. There's trouble in the air. Is it Ryunosuke? Oh, okay, it is. Wait. I can't move. Ah, what the... Why am I in handcuffs? Because I was being naughty again. So you wake up now, him? Ah, sailor. We have to drag you out to the wardrobe. I do not believe how you could not wake up. You are a true cold-blooded man. You? Ah, you found me, then. Duh, we found you. Now you pay, criminal. How long are you hiding in that tiny wardrobe, sorry. Now you have been found. It is time to admit your crimes. Unless you want to find out how cold the ocean is. No. I'll tell you everything. There's only one thing I'd like to know from you. Isn't that... Who was it? Oh. Why did you do it? Why did you take his life? Miss Susato? Wait, what did you just say? Take his life? Where is he? Where's Kazuma? He dead. Huh. You pretend you do not know. You are a wolf in sheep's pelt. You are the killer. Do not try to make excuses. Oh, come the fuck on, Ryunosuke. How did you let this happen to you a second time? Really? I'm the killer again. I had to defend myself in court yet again. Seriously, man, come on. After several Ace Attorney games, this is getting kind of old. Come on. What? What? Kazuma-sama's body was discovered not long ago. Here, in this very cabin, that was bolted shut on the inside. His body. Please, do not try to tell us you were doing this terrible thing in your sleep. Kazuma's dead. But he can't be. He was so cool and he had a sword. And these handcuffs. Surely you don't think I have to know. Why did you take Kazuma-sama's life? Answer me, please. No. No, it happened again. Why am I accused of murder? Kazuma. It was just 2 short weeks ago. Are you sure about this? Won't we get in trouble? Ha 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 ha. Don't you find it fun being a stowaway? Besides, how else could you come to England with me to study? It was really something else when they brought your luggage in here earlier, though. The way that Russian crewman just tossed your traveling case onto the floor. I thought I was going to die. You mean really didn't have anything valuable in there? That it broke? Yes, I still can't quite believe that. I really didn't think you'd be able to fit inside my trunk. It was a good thing I didn't have to bring anything else important with me. You must be even less of a man than you look. Hey, that's you're judging small people. Don't do that, Kazuma. You're still cool. Don't go down a notch here. Hey, honestly, I thought I'd broken every bone in my body. Well, it's about 50 days until we dock in Great Britain. But if you confine yourself to my cabin here, I don't expect anyone will discover you. I hope not. You do have a bathroom in here, right? I get the feeling those Russians wouldn't be very forgiving of a stowaway. They're a sturdy bunch, that's for sure. What I want to know is, why do we need to keep it a secret from the young lady? From our faithful judicial assistant, Mikotoba, you mean? From your close friend, more to the point. Surely we could confide in her, couldn't we? I don't believe she'd give me away. No. But if she knew what we'd done, that would make her guilty by association. It's best that only you and I know about this. I suppose so. Anyway, it's about the time that the steward is supposed to come and clean the cabin. I know it's cramped, but you better get in there, I think. It won't be for long. And anyway, compared to hiding inside my traveling case, it'll be a breeze. Yes, but what if the steward decides to open the wardrobe for some reason? Then I'll be in for it. Stop worrying. Get in the wardrobe, Ryunosuke. You'll like it in there. I tell you what, why don't you write, "keep out," or something on this piece of paper? What? Then I can stick it over the wardrobe doors once you're inside. It'll be like a magic seal. Nobody will be able to open it. I don't know. I'm a little wary of magical seals. We've only been at sea for about 15 days. How can this have happened? We were supposed to be going on this adventure to England together. We leave you at next port. Stay quiet until then. Don't make more trouble for yourself. Murderer! No, I'm not a murderer. Duh, you said before. You said you admit everything about your crimes. No, that's not right. I mean, yes, I did stow away on the ship, but... Murdering my best friend? No one else could have done it. Admit the truth. Susato-san. Please, tell me what happened. I need to know. Very well. But there is something I would like to ask of you, too. Those eyes. She looks like she's ready to destroy me. She will destroy me. I am prepared to be destroyed. This nightmare is getting worse by the minute. I suppose all I can do is try to find out what really happened. I guess we'll ask about Kazuma's death. How did he die? He really has been killed, hasn't he? This isn't just a bad dream. And these handcuffs. They think I did it? They think I'm Kazuma's killer. When they found him, the cabin was locked from the inside. What do you mean? Just what I said. There's no access to the cabin via a porthole window, and the bolt on the door can't be operated from outside. In other words, after a crime, a culprit couldn't have escaped these four walls. What? Or to put it another way, a culprit can only have been somebody inside this cabin. Or do you have some other explanation? This is impossible. How did he die then? What exactly happened? I mean, what happened exactly? Are you still going to deny the charge, even despite the circumstances? Please, Suzato-san, you have to tell me. The cause of death is still undetermined. They don't know how he died. The ship's doctor is examining the body, but of course, he has no post-mortem analysis experience. I don't suppose we shall learn more until an expert has been consulted at our next port of call. So presumably that means there were no obvious external signs of injury then. That's true, yes? Can't anyone tell me what actually happened here in this cabin? I don't understand it. Why would anyone want to kill Kazuma? Presumably, that's something you know the answer to better than anyone. Please, whatever you say, you were here in the cabin after all. Well, yes, I was, but... He would always wake before dawn, and do his training first thing in the morning. I was waiting outside the cabin, as I have every day so far on this voyage. But this morning, he did not come. I could sense that he wouldn't. Does that mean he was already dead when Suzato-san arrived at his cabin door, I wonder? I knocked, but there was no reply. Then I started to become worried, so I went to find a member of the crew. The crewman forced the cabin door open, and when we managed to get inside, there was Kazuma-sama, collapsed on the floor. And the white tape there now shows exactly where he was found, I suppose. I had no idea anything had happened. I must have been asleep in the wardrobe somehow. I wish it wasn't the case, but that's just very hard to believe. This is all very hard to believe for me, too, trust me. Now I've told you everything that I know, so it's my turn to ask you a question. Yes? Alright. My head feels so heavy. Still throbbing like anything. Why are you even on board this ship, Naruhodo-san? You said something before about being a stowaway, didn't you? Oh, yes. I'm afraid that's true. Hold on. Drink. It's 2 weeks since we left Japan now, and I've been shut up in this cabin the entire time. I had no idea. But how could you have occupied Kazuma-sama's cabin for so long without him noticing? No. That would have been impossible, obviously. Yes, of course. Kazuma invited me. He wanted us to go to England together. He actually asked you. But why? I'm afraid I don't really know the reason myself. I thought it would be fun, so I decided to stuff myself in his box. Just like he told me to. Hey. We're best buds, so I just kind of went along with it. That's my only reason. I don't understand. Kazuma, why do you want to do this? What's the real reason? Why go to such extreme lengths to smuggle me to England with you? It's an idea that's been on my mind ever since the end of that incredible trial. It's obvious I can't do trials without you, so I kind of need you along as... I want you to replace Susato-sama. You will replace her as my judicial assistant. I think I told you then, didn't I? That you ought to become a lawyer yourself. And we all know you can only become a lawyer by going to Great Britain. Nowhere else in the world can you do this. Well, yes, you did say that, but I didn't think you were serious. You have a talent for it. I can assure you of that. But I've never really thought about becoming a lawyer. Well, that's something you can decide for yourself. London is at the spearhead of cultural development, the center of the world in many ways. There can't be any harm in seeing such an important place with your own eyes, can there? Well, no, definitely not. But on a personal level, if you were to become a lawyer, then you would gain incredible power, and must see this for myself. Then what? Nothing. Forget it. Kazuma-sama is... He was always saying the same thing. That he wanted to change the Japanese legal system. Perhaps he thought that he could do that with you. Yes, maybe. But something's still bothering me a little. The look in his eyes then. It was darker than I've ever seen it before. Susato-san. I'm sorry that we kept it a secret from you. My stowing away on the ship, I mean. If I know Kazuma-sama, I expect he was trying to protect me, to avoid me becoming guilty by association. That's exactly right, yes. Word perfect, in fact. If you're not the culprit, then tell me. What happened last night here in this cabin? Well, the thing is... I don't know. I don't really remember. Kazuma brought me something to eat, just like he always did. And I pooped inside the wardrobe. It's kind of smelly in there. Wait, that was too much information. You didn't need to know that. And then I got myself into that wardrobe over there, just like I always did. After that, I fell asleep. Well, yes. Somehow I did. Inside that small, cramped, narrow, hard wardrobe. I don't know how I fell asleep inside that thing, actually. So deeply that you didn't even stir when Kazuma-sama was killed. Well, yes, I mean, he did place a mystical seal on the door, so maybe that was part of the reason why I didn't hear anything. Also, now that I'm seeing it, there is a very big air ventilation duct right above the wardrobe, too. So, it's possible somebody else could have possibly snuck out of here. Just saying. Right off the bat, I'm seeing that. I know it sounds unbelievable. Really, I do, but it's the truth. If only I'd woken up, then perhaps I wouldn't be in this predicament. And for some reason, my head's still throbbing like anything. That's some bad juju food he gave me. The magical seals must be wearing off. Really? Is something wrong? Oh, no, it's... Please forget it. Susato-san, you have to believe me. I didn't do it. I swear, this time I really didn't do it. You have to believe me. I really don't want to doubt you. But the trouble is, there is no one else who could possibly have done this. Kazuma, I don't understand. Why? Why did this have to happen? Why did you have to die? Like, we could have had so much more fun together if you just stayed alive. Can't take this. Don't try to go anywhere. You're the perpetrator of this crime. You can't leave. I can't allow that to happen. I'm sorry. But Kazuma was killed right under my nose here, and I didn't do anything to stop it. And now I'm supposed to just sit around? My hands tied? While whoever did this walks free? No, I can't allow that to happen. Well, what do you propose to do then? I'm going to investigate. I'm going to find out exactly what happened here. I'm going to work out who took Kazuma's life, and how, and why they did it. So, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to excuse me. I need to go over here. Hi-ya! No, you don't. Judo chop. What the... That was a Susato takedown. Susato what? What martial arts form is that? I'm going to need you to prove it. Sorry, prove it? Yes, your innocence. I need evidence. But how am I supposed to... Have you forgotten already? What you achieved just a few weeks ago? You successfully defended yourself in a court of law. I see. Yeah, I did. I remember that now. She's expecting me to present some conclusive evidence. Do I have any evidence? Don't think I do. I have this seal. What's your... okay. Kazuma put the seal in the wardrobe, which means after Ryunosuke got into the wardrobe, so he could not have gotten out of the wardrobe, killed Kazuma, and got back into the wardrobe without reapplying the seal because it would not have been possible. had to get Suzato-san to believe me. I'll show her some evidence right now that proves I'm not guilty of the awful crime. I'll present my collar pin, which is not the correct thing.
Yes!
Tell me, when I was discovered in the wardrobe before, was this piece of paper stuck over the doors? Oh, yes it was. I remember clearly. I thought so. Kazuma always put it in place whenever I went to sleep in there. Just in case the cabin steward or another crew member decided to look inside. So naturally, he did the same last night as well. Ah. Yes, of course. The gentleman who discovered you peeled that sign from the wardrobe doors before he opened them. But if I were truly the culprit, I couldn't have climbed back inside the wardrobe and stuck this on the outside of the doors on my own. Yes, that's quite true. In other words, it's impossible that I killed Kazuma. Well, even if you are sprawled hopelessly on the floor, I can see why Kazuma-sama thought so highly of you. Thank you, Suzato-san. Now, do you think perhaps you could help me up? It's kind of a really weird camera angle here. Well, in the light of that evidence, I don't see any reason why I should stop you from investigating in here, at least. Thank you. So you finally believe me? I'm sorry, no. What? I'm not sure yet. I can't rule out the possibility that you used some sort of conjuring trick to put the sign back in place, back in position. That you used magic. Are you a magician, Ryunosuke? I need to know now. What does she think I am, a magician? For now, I suggest you investigate as thoroughly as possible in here. I'll do the same. Alright, let's get to work, Suzato-san. Please don't misunderstand me. I still have my doubts. Oh. I shall be watching you to make sure you do nothing that might disturb the crime scene. Otherwise, I will judo chop you to death. Right here, in this very room. You understand, right? I don't want you using your conjuring tricks to destroy evidence, for example. Right. My magical skills, okay. Well, anyway, I should make a start on investigating in here. Examine everything I can. Kazuma, I swear, I will avenge your death. Alright, so now we can get to investigating here. Okay. Investigation. Okay. Let me make notes here. Investigations. Let's just state the obvious here. Our first thing we know is Kazuma killed in his cabin. Door was locked. Door was locked. Ryunosuke in wardrobe. Undisturbed. Or sealed. By the magical Japanese seal, he was in there. Okay. Can I present this? Can I just present things to you? Suzato-san, about this. You like my shiny badge? I'm sorry, Naruhodo-san, but we don't have time to waste on anything else. We must find clues. Huh. She looked serious. Like she's about... Well, really deadly serious. She's like she's about to judo chop me again. Okay. Can I present, profiles? No. $901. You drew the characters for this paper seal, didn't you, Naruhodo-san? I recognize your handwriting. They're such bold, vivid strokes you made. You're looking at a man who came aboard inside a trunk. Those brushstrokes needed to make a statement. If they found me in that wardrobe, those Russians would have hurled me into the freezing cold ocean. Then you'd have a whole different type of murder case on your hands. I'm sure none of the crewmen would have done anything like that. Well, I'm not so sure. They would have forced you to wash dishes in the galley until you were on death's door or something like that. Wash dishes until I was on death's door? That's a lot of dishes. Did you really have that many dishes on the ship? Ah, these must be the remnants of the glue you used to stick the paper seal on the wardrobe. That's right. I mean, not me. Kazuma stuck it on there. We want to get our facts right here. That's right. It was pulverized rice. Pulverized rice. Yes, I pulverized some of the rice for my evening meal, even though it broke my heart to do that. Broke your heart? What do you mean? Remember, I'm a stowaway on the ship. All I had to eat were Kazuma's leftovers. Even a couple of grains of rice could have meant the difference between life and death. And then you would have had a whole nother murder case on your hands. Oh my, it must have been awful for you, Naruhodo-san. But I have some glue with me, as it happens. You're welcome to use it this evening when I judo chop you and stuff you back in the wardrobe and put the seal back over this again. And you'll just be there forever until you die. Oh, thank you very much. Alright. Alright, let's see. What is this on the floor? Did Kazuma write that before he died? I have some doubts about that, I just want to say. It looks like it's written in ink. He must have knocked the ink pot from the desk when he collapsed on the floor. Then I suppose he wrote this message by dipping his finger in the spillage. Poor Kazuma-sama. No doubt he was in terrible pain. It's almost unbearable to imagine it. Like, I'm looking at this, I'm trying to figure out, is it like mirrored? Or is it just Russian? I actually have a mirror nearby. I just want to try something here. Nope, that doesn't make any sense in a mirror. Upside down, no. I guess not. Okay. It was overshot. I suppose he was trying to leave some kind of a clue in his final moments, wasn't he? I'm sorry, partner, but I can't read your writing. It makes no sense. I don't think that's Japanese, Naruhodo-san. What? Then what language is it in? It pains me to admit it, but I don't know. It's not a foreign script I'm familiar with. What does it mean, I wonder? Oh dear. That won't do. Oh, what's the matter, Suzaru-san? Whenever I'm examining things, I always find myself so focused I forget to look around properly. Ah yes, that's not good. I don't suppose you're as foolish as me in that regard, are you, Naruhodo-san? Oh, yeah, alright. I'm sure you're careful look all around using the direction pads, aren't you? Now, let's investigate all corners of this cabin. All corners. Yes, let's do that. I suppose my field of vision has been rather small until now. Alright, hold on, I want to see something here. So the inkwell must have fallen from over here. On down. He tried to write that. Oh, we'll get a little check mark when we've investigated something. Okay. Alright, let's just kind of go through everything here. This is where dear Kazuma-sama would have sat whenever he was writing. What was he writing? London Diary. Poor Kazuma. He didn't even make it to his destination. It looks as though the last entry is incomplete. Which means... what? He was in the middle of writing it when the incident happened? Let's see what it says. It could be a valuable clue. Judo chop! Ah! That's out of the question. Blah. Kazuma-sama may have departed this world, but you must not read his private thoughts. But what if it's something important? Something relevant to the case? Alright, I won't read it. Poor Kazuma-sama. I don't like prying into people's personal matters either. But in this case, isn't the need for clues more important? We shall not read it because we will be judo chopped. The books have fallen over on the shelf. Look, they've all toppled the same way. And what's this? A statue of some god of the sea. I've always fallen over as well. Yes, it's almost as if the whole shelf has been ransacked, and everything mown down at once. I wonder if... perhaps it was Kazuma-sama doing his morning sword training, do you think? I seriously doubt it. I mean, the books look intact, they don't look like they've been cut, so... at least I don't think so. And then perhaps... it was you, Naruhodo-san, in a fit of rage. I wouldn't have bothered leaving the wardrobe just to mess up a few books and a statue. Could the way these things have been thrown about have anything to do with the case, I wonder? Well, I'll just set everything straight again. I don't like to see a mess. Okay. These books are provided for the entertainment of whoever is occupying the cabin, I suppose. And they must be well looked after. You mustn't damage any of the ship's property. But it wasn't me who knocked them over. Well, anyway. I feel much better now that they're neatly lined up. I can't relax when things are a mess. Who is altering the crime scene here, Suzato? Come on. You altered the crime scene. And you're gonna get on my case for trying to look at a journal. These are the rules of passage for travel aboard the SS Burya. Burya. It's essentially a list of requests from the captain to all passengers on board. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden. Okay, so Kazuma had his sword, a dangerous object, and Ryunosuke was a pet. That's 2 strikes against Kazuma already. What? Why are you staring at me? Oh, sorry. I was just thinking. Are you a pet? Are you more of a dangerous object or a pet? I'm both. I can't decide. Well, one thing's for sure. Either way, I wasn't supposed to be in here. That's a very large traveling case, isn't it? Yes, it carries a lot of memories for me. Memories? What do you mean? Oh, I don't know, it smells kind of bad in there now. Well, that's actually how I stowed away on this vessel. I was brought on board inside that case. Oh yes, I see it says, "This way up" in Japanese. Which in hindsight, I should have realized a foreign crewman wouldn't be able to read. I was turned over and over and over. And then I was tossed on the floor in here. Oh dear. Being a stowaway isn't as romantic as it sounds. Well, it was less painful than a Susato takedown. What is this thing here? What do you think this is? It looks like a piece of glassware. A broken piece of glassware. Whatever the thing was, it appears to have broken clean in two. The glass is such a beautiful color. It looks like a cute little Netsuki fastener from a kimono outfit. I'm not sure if that sounds like Kazuma. He wouldn't have secretly carried a cute little trinket like this around with him, would he? We don't know. He probably likes little cute things. He hides them underneath his outfit from everybody. Because he's secretly into kawaii things. And the mark beside it. What is it, I wonder? It has a sort of brick-like hue. Yes, you're right. It is the color of brick, isn't it? Even though I don't see anything of the same color anywhere else in the cabin. It's some 2 weeks since we set sail from Japan. Have you really been living in that wardrobe the entire time, Naruhodo-san? I think living isn't quite the right description. Oh, no, I suppose not. Although it must have been rather exciting, making this voyage in your own secret hideout. Trouble was, I never knew when a member of the crew might come in. So yes, I did basically have to live in the wardrobe. And last night was no exception. But because of that, you had no idea what was happening out here in the cabin. No, sadly not. It was a rough 2 weeks living inside a wardrobe. This is... yes, it's a bell cord contraption, I think. What do you mean, contraption? I read about it in a book I was studying that talked about life in Great Britain. Large households often have bell cords like this, which you can pull to ring a bell to summon servants. Really? That sounds almost magical. Shall we give it a little try? Yes! In the interest of cultural research, obviously. And nobody came. I suppose nobody comes for lowly Japanese people. No, I'm sure it's just that everyone is busy, that's all. They wouldn't possibly be racist, would they? No, that couldn't be the case. I think that's some kind of opening for a ventilator. A hole for which fresh air can circulate into a cabin. Isn't that a little odd? What do you mean? Air is perfectly normal. Well, this ventilator, if that's what it is, looks like it must connect to a next-door cabin. Yes, it would appear to. You're right. But if its purpose is to allow fresh air into the room, surely it must be connected to the outside. I mean, what if the person next door really let one loose? I mean, it would filter into this room. That would not be fresh air. That's true. Perhaps it's so that rain and spray don't find their way in when the seas are rough, or something like that. I suppose. Maybe that's it. Or, where the hell did you come from? Who's that? He wasn't there a minute ago. As far as I can tell, looks like he might be European. Oh, how did he... You've noticed the man too, have you? I have no idea who he is or how he got in here. But he looks suspicious. And tall. Suspiciously tall. Naruhodo-san, don't tell me. You have a thing against tall people. Do you really not know who that is? No. Should I? Well, no. I don't have any foreign friends or acquaintances at all. He doesn't look like a member of the crew. There's something very unusual about him. And is he investigating Kazuma's desk, or is he just playing on it? I can't tell. Well, in that case, we simply must talk with him. Am I just imagining it, or does Suzato-san look almost uncontrollably excited? By the way, I expect that you've noticed already, but just in case, if you press A on people when they're in the crosshairs, you can converse with them. Alright then, I'll get that suspiciously tall gentleman in my sights and see what he has to say for himself. Oh, please do. I'm looking forward to this. You'll be so surprised and shocked. But first I'm gonna look on this side of the room. That's my dinner from last night, a roast chicken. It was really tasty. Yes, it was very delicious, wasn't it? But, did you eat it on the floor here? I'm not a dog, Suzato-san. I'm not a pet, I swear. I ate at the table, of course. Which begs the question of when and how the plate ended up on the floor. But Kazuma-sama didn't like chicken at all, did he? No, that's right. So he didn't touch it. How can he not like chicken? That's like one of the most staple foods of Asia. Chicken. I think chicken everywhere, along with seafood. Beef is a little bit less common, but I mean, seafood and chicken everywhere. Which meant all the more for me. Oh no, does that mean poor Kazuma-sama spent his last night on this earth with an empty belly? It's just too horrible. How could you, Ryunosuke? Ugh, now I suddenly have a guilty conscience and an achy stomach. It's a very unusual, chicken leg. It looks like an actual leg. There's nothing on this table at all. The plate and cutlery are all over the floor for some reason. Yes, it's strange. Last night when I went to sleep, I'm sure everything was still. No, wait a minute. What is it? That's funny. I can't seem to remember anything about what happened after dinner at all. So then perhaps you are responsible for what happened to Kazuma-sama. You have a second personality that came to life, an inner id that killed Kazuma. I figured it all out now. It was really you, it was your alter ego. The evil Ryunosuke Naruhodo. No. Swear I don't have an evil second personality. Seigi. The Japanese word for justice. The brushstrokes are straight and true, just like Kazuma. Yes, his calligraphy always was a reflection of his heart. Yet you, can you really look at those characters without feeling shame, knowing who drew them so thoughtfully? Of course I can. I mean, I'm innocent, so why shouldn't I be able to? Even though you stowed away on this ship, I will judo chop you again. With my eyes. Now you're going to bring that up, aren't you? You can't win. Perhaps I should see what this Russian crew member makes of the scene of the crime. Excuse me. What? I was wondering how it's going. The investigation, I mean. I am no investigator, I am just standing here. Grandmother told me Japanese people do not make jokes. But it is not true, I see. Sorry? The criminal asking investigator for information about his crime? Very funny. Oh, it wasn't supposed to be a joke. He doesn't appear to be laughing either. He's convinced you're guilty. He might have useful information, though. I have to keep trying. So, last night, did you notice anything out of the ordinary at all? Night. Of course not. Now back to corner room and make silent. I say no more to you. Did I hit a nerve? Just for a minute there, he seemed a little flustered. When I went for help and the crewman forced the door open. This bolt had been firmly closed. It's quite a small bolt and not particularly sturdy, and it just slides across to secure the door shut. But still, with the door bolted, there would be no way to get in or out of the cabin, that's for sure. There's no wonder everyone suspects me. When she glares at me like that, I feel tense. All up and down my spine, as if I'm going to be judo chopped again. I remember reading once in a detective novel. A culprit used a needle and a thread to draw a bolt across from outside the room in a situation like this. Yes, that's a clever trick, isn't it? I'm an avid reader of detective stories myself. But the door of this cabin and its frame are made of metal, and they seal together perfectly. There would be no possibility of using that needle and thread trick here, I'm afraid. Because I already thought of that. When she glares at me like that, I feel pins and needles all up and down my spine. It definitely glare. Yeah, that's better. Yeah, it's getting hot in here. The air must come on. Alright, let's look at the sword. That's Kazuma-sama's precious sword. He never went anywhere without it. Yes, he was always saying that a Japanese man's katana is his soul. So his soul is right here. And I believe he had to work very hard to convince the government to allow him to bring it on this trip. I suppose that shows us how important it was to him. And now he's gone. I'm not ready to let his spirit go just yet. Okay, so what do I think happened so far, based on what I've seen here? I think somebody came into the cabin. Must have surprised Kazuma somehow. Probably when his back was turned. And hit him over the head with something. Maybe a piece of whatever this thing was. Then went searching in the room for something. Knocking stuff over and everything. And then, when he didn't find what he wanted, he just kind of arranged to write this thing here. Like Kazuma writing something here. I assume Kazuma does not know Russian. So clearly I don't think he will. It's like pretty much in any case where the dying person wrote out the name of the killer with their finger as they're dying. That almost never happens, so I'm not going to assume that happens here, so I'm going to assume this is bullshit. And they probably locked the door, and then they probably crawled out through this ventilator shaft into the next room, and Ryunosuke was asleep the entire time, didn't know what happened, so that's what I'm going to assume happened here. So yeah, that's my theory right now, so far. I have to keep clearing my throat, man. My throat's gonna kind of irritated. It's so hot today. It's gonna be so hot tomorrow too. This is bound to happen. All right, let's talk to Mr. Sholmes. I don't have anything new added to my evidence list. No. All right. Excuse me. Excuse me? Do you have a moment? Shh. This is a critical point in my investigation. Maybe I should leave him alone. Maybe I should leave him alone. He seems a little unfriendly. Yes, perhaps that would be for the best. Greetings! I hope I haven't kept you going. Judo chop! What exactly were you doing on Kazuma's desk just now? Yeah, my throat is just kind of really frogging up here. Ugh. Oh, I see. Fascinating. Sorry? What do you see? It feels like he's looking right through me. Oh yes. Everything is clear now. The train of reasoning has run its course. My deductions have crystallized. You have been in Afghanistan, I perceive. Just recently returned, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry? What? 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 And now, whilst venturing towards foreign climes, you find yourself in a most troubling predicament. Oh, well, that's true at least. But how? How the deuce did I know that, perhaps? It was really a most elementary deduction. Hardly worth explaining. Had you perhaps managed to deduce anything else? But of course, a great many things. There is no mystery, my dear madame. For example, you have fled your native land of Russia, being as you are a merciless revolutionary. You leave 16 victims of assassination in your wake, and now travel to England to blow up the Crystal Tower. And when the Barry Bond occupant of this very cabin discovered your identity, you ended his life, too. Yes, I believe that summarizes the facts beautifully. No need to hide the truth now. Nothing deceives these eyes. Just to be clear, you are talking about me, are you? Certainly I am. Do you see another in this cabin who fits the bill? A Russian assassin with 16 victims to his name? I don't even see one person who fits the bill. How did this man end up on the ship? So it's true. It was you who did this to Kazuma-sama. Do I look like I'm a Russian? Suzato, come on. What? And you're plotting a revolution too. It's shameful behavior, Naruhodo-san. Absolutely wicked. No, listen, there's no way I judo chop! Ow. Now explain yourself. Tell me everything. This is ridiculous. How could you do it? For pity's sake, open your eyes. I'm not a Russian revolutionary, obviously. Oh, forgive me. And as for you, what kind of deduction was that? You were just saying the first thing that came into your head. Ah, but was I not right? Whilst venturing towards foreign climes, you do find yourself in a most troubling predicament, do you not? Well, yes, maybe. Ha! There you have it, you see? What do you make of that, hmm? Well, to be honest, this ship is en route to England, and I'm in handcuffs at the scene of a murder. So I'm not really sure you could call it deduction. It's more plain observation. Indeed! And observation, my dear boy, is the basis of all deduction. My method is founded upon the observation of trifles, you see. I announce my findings with a brassy certitude. And more often than not, I'm right. Huh. I don't think you introduced yourself. Ah, my apologies. How remiss of me. I am none other than the greatest detective of the century, known to men and women the world over. The inimitable Sherlock Holmes. I'm not the other guy. Just make sure you got my name correctly. So, it's really you, the actual Sherlock Holmes. The very same, the imitable, actual Sherlock Holmes. Do you know this? Do you know this man, Suzaru-san? The most famous detective in the world, Naruhodo-san. Of course I do. There's nobody who hasn't heard of him. Except for me. What planet have I been living on then? I mean, I know of a dude with a very similar name, but not this guy. You must ask him what he's deduced. He will have worked out the entire case already, I'm sure. Really? Why do I feel uneasy about this? Alright. Mr. Sholmes, would you like to see my badge? Mr. Sholmes, what do you make of this? My shiny badge? Shh, quiet. When I'm ruminating in the course of my deductions, nothing must disturb my mind. Oh, so sorry. Ah, an Indian curry, perhaps. What's he ruminating about? The lunch menu? Never seen anything like this. Most extraordinary writing. You said the same earlier this morning, I think. Indeed. But its uncommonness is so remarkable. I felt the need to say it anew. Yes, I do believe. These characters may be a crude attempt at a Japanese script. What? Mr. Naruhodo, I don't like to be the one to tell you this, but I think Mr. Sholmes is trying to say what your handwriting is a little untidy. Is he making fun of me? So, you're a great detective, are you? Sorry, what was your name again? I forgot already. Indeed. I'm none other than the one and only Sherlock Sholmes. Oh, I see. You're German. Sherlock, was it? No, I have no hair. I mean, I have hair. But please, call me Sholmes. You can read all about my exploits in this exciting London publication. Oh yes, Ranch magazine, full of wonderful short stories and interest articles from Great Britain. I never miss an issue. I have it sent from England especially. Yes, here it is. The Adventures of Sherlock Sholmes. So, you're the protagonist in a series of short stories, then? Indeed I am. And you read so many of your own stories, you've started to think you really are a detective? Make no mistake, I'm not the poor, deluded fellow you take me for. Your inference is backward. Backward? My trusty biographer records my greatest detecting achievements, and chronicles them in the magazine. You have a biographer, do you? Doesn't everyone? Mine goes by the name of Dr. Wilson, presently keeping shop in London. Dr. Wilson? I must say, thanks to that publication, I've been fantastically busy of late. Why, this very moment, I am returning from Asia, having solved the mystery of a cursed royal crown. Really? I can't work out whether I should take this man seriously or not. Probably not. Deduction, you see, is to me a science. Logical reasoning in its purest form. A science? What is that? Really? 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 The astute observer notices even the most subtle of reactions in a subject. A furtive glance, a twitch of a muscle, a slight inclination of the posture. Fingernails, arm sleeves, furrows in the skin. All these things are data. Right. And the trained logician makes deductions from this data in the blink of an eye. The ultimate conclusion is, without fail, the truth. As I demonstrated only a few short moments ago. How can you look me in the eye and claim that? So you see, I have a turn both for observation and for deduction and fame. That is what makes me the one and only Herlock Sholmes. Have you managed to deduce anything about this particular case yet? Have I managed to deduce anything? My dear fellow. Who do you suppose discovered the culprit in his most cunning hiding place? That's right. It was none other than the great detective before you now, Mr. Herlock Sholmes. Ah, I see. In other words, I'm in these now because of him. When I became anxious about Kazuma-sama this morning, I summoned all the crew members to force this cabin door open. And I concealed myself among their number, gaining entry to the scene of the crime. Yes, luckily for everyone, the great detective Herlock Sholmes was on board. And the handcuffs seem to be an excellent fit, Mr. Naruhodo. The very moment I laid eyes on the scene, two facts were immediately apparent to me. Oh, really? Two facts, you say? Okay, what two facts? Mr. Sholmes, tell us, please. What two facts were apparent to you when you came into this cabin this morning? Ah, yes. But first, let us be precise. The two facts in question were immediately apparent to me. Yes, I understand, but what were they? Allow me to elucidate. The two facts that I deduced from a mere momentary glance at the scene of the crime were as follows. Number one, the cabin was locked from within, rendering escape of the culprit out of the question. Number two, the victim was Russian and killed following a dispute with an acquaintance. Hold on, Mr. Sholmes. What made you think the victim was Russian? Observe the dying message left by the victim on the floor. How do we pronounce that? That is the Russian word for wardrobe. Do you really think Kazuma-sama could have left a dying message in Russian? In their final moments, many find their native tongue filling their head. For this young man, Russian. Kazuma was Russian, was he? I don't think so. Initially, I considered Garderobe may be the name of the killer. A certain Robert Gard, perhaps. But in the interest of thoroughness, I decided it would be wrong not to look inside the wardrobe, there at least. Where you found Mr. Naruhodo sleeping soundly. Quite so. I found you, a renowned Russian revolutionary killer. Why is it that I'm Russian too? Does he think everybody on board is Russian? I observed that you were wearing the same attire as the victim. In other words, you were acquainted. And if my memory serves, that outfit is the traditional dress of the Russian people. Our school uniforms are the traditional dress of the Russian people? I had no idea. And I had no idea a detective could get something so wrong. I took a photograph of the victim and the message, that I might analyze it for possible hidden details. Can we see the photo? Okay, cool. This was taken immediately after the young man was discovered before the body was removed. Yes, Kazuma had already been taken away when I woke up. This is the first time I've actually seen him like this. Are you alright, Mr. Naruhodo? Oh, yes, thank you. Photograph crime scene and enter in the court record, okay. Can I ask you something, Mr. Sholmes? What, pray? You mentioned Russia before as well, didn't you? You know, when you said I was a fearsome revolutionary fleeing from Russia and all that... Ah, yes, the train of reasoning that led me to the truth. Would you mind explaining that train of reasoning to me, do you think? Certainly, if it interests you. How many times? I'm not Russian, I don't speak Russian. Okay, so that's like a Russian word for wardrobe. I have to assume that's correct. I'm just trying to see if there's anything out of the ordinary here. I don't know whether Kazuma is right or left-handed. I'm going to assume he's right-handed. Because, you know, most people are, but I'm not aware of him being left-handed. Hold on. Rearrange here. So my leg doesn't... So my leg doesn't fall asleep. Alright. Can we talk about your deduction before? The things you conclude about me, I mean. Ah, the now famously accurate, troubling predicament you find yourself in. Actually, it was the other details that I was more hoping to discuss. You know, the merciless Russian revolutionary and assassin of 16 part? Ah yes, the more sordid details. It was a fairly commonplace deduction. Here we have this morning's paper. The main headline reads, Revolutionary villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. This vessel made a port call at Shanghai yesterday, and last night the young Russian was murdered. Since when was Kazuma Russian? It sounds like Mr. Sholmes has concluded he was Russian because of what Kazuma-sama wrote on the floor. It was a simple act of reasoning to realize that the culprit of this crime was the same merciless revolutionary. One who would kill the very man who helped him to escape after his true identity was discovered. Yes, you. Villain Bolshevik. No, how could it be me? I don't look anything like this man. Just look at his face. Well, you are a fearsome revolutionary after all. Therefore, you have no doubt learned to revolutionize your appearance as well. Please. And, I might add, your name does not appear on the ship's passenger list. Need I say more? Well, that's because I'm a stowaway. What about the other details? The 16 victims of assassination and blowing up the Crystal Tower. Ah, yes. The journalist clearly interviewed the man and printed all those particulars in the article. The deeds the man has perpetrated thus far, and those he is plotting. Yes, everything about this revolutionary Bolshevik was included. There can be no mistake. Do revolutionaries usually agree to interviews with newspaper reporters, I wonder? And what about the part where you said I was just returning from Afghanistan? Also quite clearly stated here in the article. Bolshevik is recently returned after a period of subversive activities in a war-torn region of Afghanistan. Where even is it anyway? This Afghanistan place. Here, take the paper for yourself. As a little memento of this great deduction. Oh, thank you. I've absorbed all that is of interest to me within its pages, but I see no rubbish bin nearby. Therefore, you will be my rubbish bin. Okay. And you may find the article on the back page of interest as well. On the back. Cast your eye over it sometime if the interest takes you, though you may need someone to interpret. It's all written in Russian. I couldn't hope to read it. But I suppose it wouldn't hurt just to glance at the article. Maybe there might be a picture or two. Okay, well, let's take a look right now. I'm afraid I can't read a word of Russian. No, me neither. I have no idea what any of this says. A pair of you floundering is a sorry sight. Allow me to offer some assistance. The article on the front of this newspaper is concerned with a fearsome Russian revolutionary. It reads, Revolutionary villain Bolshevik flees Russia via Shanghai. Yes, you told us that before. It reveals also that those who see the man's beard with their own eyes never live to tell the tale. Except for this photographer who took the picture. Oh my goodness, he is fearsome. Well, presumably the newspaper photographer was alright, wasn't he? The solution is obvious, of course. If he despises his beard to that degree, he need only shave it off. I'm not quite sure that's the problem, Mr. Sholmes. This is interesting. Have you found something relevant, Naruhodo-san? Well, no, I mean, it looks like it might be interesting. I can't read a single word, I'm afraid. No, nor can I. But look at this picture. Perhaps it's about a beautiful young Russian princess. Do you think? She is very pretty, isn't she? I suppose you enjoy articles like this, do you? I don't know. I can't make any sense of it. Ah, I'm glad you noticed this article. Allow me to give you a short summary of its contents. Oh, thank you. He pops up everywhere, Mr. Sholmes. It's about the disappearance of a young lady last night. Renowned prima ballerina of the Novovich Ballet disappears from Shanghai. During a performance in Shanghai, the famous dancer was reported missing. She is, of course, the talented young Nikolina Pavlova. Why are Russian names so hard to remember? It would appear the woman was in costume when she was found to be missing from her dressing room, wearing the diamond tiara you see pictured, which is worth some 20,000 rubles. Oh, how much is 20,000 rubles? Well, it's pretty easy. It is worth 20,000 rubles. I have no idea, but I'm quite sure. It must be an unbelievable sum of money. Suzano-san's eyes are shining like diamonds themselves. The tiara is the property of the Novovich Ballet. It would seem the director is beside herself with worry. Yes, I'm not surprised. The company is most anxious to recover both Miss Pavlova and the valuable tiara. They requested international assistance at all ports with sailings to Great Britain. I assume including this ship too. Could this be another case of a Russian fleeing his or her country? It does seem to be the Russian thing to do. I am not even going to dignify that with a response, Mr. Naruhodo. How dare you be so racist towards Russians? I am ashamed of you. You are guilty. I will judo chop you to death now. Before we started talking, you were examining Kazuma's desk, weren't you? Kazuma? Ah yes, the victim. Did you notice anything useful? Anything at all? Observe for a moment the desktop of the victim. We see that the victim was engaged in penning some text. A London diary. Kazuma was keeping notes of the trip. Ah, but I don't think you should read his private writings. It could upset certain people. Tragic. And something you ought to do, perhaps. Something you ought to, perhaps, elucidate before the act of reading. You mean you've read it already? It is my business to know what other people do not. Yes, believe it or not, I know a smattering of Japanese. Oh, I see. Well, you're about to know what a Suzato takedown is. Suzato? Do your thing. Go on. Do the thing. Do the thing, Suzato. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Suzato-san, aren't you going to throw a detective with one of your trademark takedowns? I'm sorry, Naruhodo-san. What on earth do you mean? Life is so unfair. Anyway, to return to the matter at hand, namely, this diary belonging to the victim. It would appear the final sentence is incomplete, as if the author were cut short. Tell me, what is the nature of the writing? Pray be precise as to the details. Oh, but I thought you knew Japanese. A smattering, dear boy, a smattering. Sayonara, bonsai, mikado, nado nado. I trust you're suitably impressed. Huh. Is nado nado even a word in Japanese? I never heard that before. But this diary is littered with complicated-looking characters, of which I can read precisely none. So what was all that showing off about before, then? If you would be so kind as to show me, I would be happy to read it to you, Mr. Sholmes. I'm much obliged, my dear madame. The final entry here in Kazuma-sama's diary consists of just 2 short sentences. The first reads, 1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. A whistling sound. These are very deep waters. Pray, go on. The second sentence reads, 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band? What on earth does that mean? I have no idea. I've never heard that expression before. The ventilator grill, you say? The man was presumably referring to the lattice there on the wall, which connects to the adjoining cabin. Yes, the adjoining cabin. Kazuma's diary, okay. So, I believe I've given you enough to consider for the time being, at least. Do you have somewhere to go? As it happens, the victim's writings in his diary have piqued my interest. The matter warrants further investigation, I believe, and if I am still too long, the seasickness takes hold. Oh, I suppose you're thinking of investigating the cabin next door, which the ventilator connects to. Great detectives are a curious breed. Our minds rebel at stagnation. We crave mental exaltation. So yes, I intend to investigate. Hence, the truth will become clear soon enough. Do you think perhaps that we could go with you? No. That would be somewhat complicated. What? But why? A simple glance at your wrist should reveal the answer. Oh, these. After all, you're the prime suspect in this matter, no? And there's no point trying to turn it into a question. You're the one who decided I was the culprit in the first place. Whatever do you mean? I have no recollection of naming you as the culprit at any point. You must be joking. You just said it only a moment ago. Dear me, you were clearly misguided. I would have no cause to say such a thing. Well, actually, Mr. Sholmes, I did hear you say that too. You're quite sure? Well, that's very strange. I wouldn't have said you had the face of a criminal, you know. Not really. So what? Were you looking at my knees before? Some great detective you are. Well, anyway, that was then and this is now. What do you mean? What I mean, sir, is this. If you are the culprit, then you must play the part more convincingly. Roll over and accept your fate. Ha 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 ha! Now it's just being plain rude. And off he goes, having just laughed in my face. His sense of humor's as twisted as his name. Naruhodo-san, what are you just standing there for? Hmm? We must go and investigate the cabin next door as well. Aren't you forgetting something? What about these? There's no way I could... Yeah! After Kazuma-sama spent his dying moments struggling to leave us a clue, you're willing to give up? I will judo chop you to death. You're just going to roll over and accept your fate? As if you gave me any choice in the rolling over part. I think we still have some investigation to finish off in here first, don't we? Let's carry on examining what we can in this cabin while we wait for a chance to slip next door. Good idea. Can you judo chop the chains off me? The situation doesn't look good for me, but there are still things I can do to help myself. And I owe it to Kazuma to do everything I can to find a way out of this, and bring the real culprit to justice. Justice. Hold on. Ugh. Sorry about that. It's like major frog in the throat moment there. Ugh. If only it wasn't like so warm. Ugh. Being so warm just makes my throat get congested. Especially when I have to read so much dialogue. Ugh. Is that? Is something wrong, Naruhodo-san? Oh, no. It's just that crewman standing by the door. I can't help feeling like I've seen him somewhere before. Oh yes, you're right. He does look familiar. Excuse me, sir. Yes? And what can I do for you? Ah, come on. Damn. I know, it's this guy again. He's back again. So I guess he's going to be a recurring character. I recognize that face, but it can't be. Coughing man is back. Good. It is. I didn't know you were here, Inspector Hosonaga. Yes. Hello again. I am still dying. What are you doing here? I think that should be my line. I was so stunned when I saw you, my heart stopped. Nearly stopped, I hope. I received some special orders to go undercover as a member of the crew and board the ship. Again? Why would they send an undercover police officer on an international ship to England? That seems a little excessive. You certainly seem to enjoy undercover work, Inspector. If there's anything I can do to help you, please ask. I never expected to see this man on board. But perhaps his presence can help me out of this hopeless situation somehow. By letting me cough and relieve myself a little bit. Speaking of which, damn, my throat just... Oh yeah, my throat's being really problematic tonight. It's the heat. It's been really hot today. And it's like, while I got the game running, it gets hot in here too. Ugh. The heat just makes my throat get congested. Ugh. I don't know how much longer this part is. I'm almost at my... Well, I'm almost at the 2-hour mark. I'm gonna go for a little bit more. Do I finish this part up here? I don't think there's really anything else I can do in here. Inspector, can I show you this, my shiny pin? What the? Is that a fabled Imperial Yume University pin badge? I happen to collect those things. I'm not sure if it's really fabled exactly, but... So, you're a genuine student then? The real thing? Sorry? Nothing like me with my regular schooling. You're something much greater. Is that what you were trying to say? Can I have my badge back, please? Ah, this is the paper seal that was stuck over the wardrobe doors this morning, isn't it? That's right. To try to stop the cabin steward opening it up and discovering me. Wouldn't it have been better to write it in English, if you didn't know Russian? Maybe, but Ofuda paper amulets like this are part of our culture, Inspector. I'm sure the Russians understand that too. Obviously they know what a paper amulet seal is. Wouldn't they? Yeah, so. And I thought if I made it look creepy enough, people would be too scared to want to look inside. Huh. You know, because they would be afraid that I'd unleash some foreign spirit that will curse them or something. I'm certain they believe in those things, right? It isn't easy being a stowaway, is it? Have you seen this photograph yet, Inspector? Oh dear. Are you all right, Inspector? Yes, sorry. I'm fine. I was hoping to hide my upset with a fit of coughing and spluttering. I'm usually very good at it. But trying to stifle my feelings seemed to have stifled my cough this time. It's all so sad. Asogi-san was such a promising young man. The Empire had such high hopes for him. I had such high hopes for him, even though I'm just a detective. We're all going to miss you, Kazuma. Especially this guy. Can I show you this newspaper, Inspector? I'm sorry, but I can't read Russian very well. Oh no, that's alright. I know what it says. So you just wanted to point out your university-level linguistic talents, is that it? Sorry? Nothing like me with my regular schooling. You're something much greater. Is that what you were trying to say? Sorry, I forget I mentioned it. And what's that? It's Kazuma's diary. Just before he died, Kazuma-sama wrote something rather strange in his diary. Strange? In what way? He wrote, what looks like some kind of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill. A speckled band. That is strange. Yes, we're still trying to work out what he meant by that. But what I'd like to know is... Don't tell me. The ventilator, is it? You're very astute, Inspector. That ventilator clearly joins to the next door cabin. That's right. So if we could investigate in there, we might be able to work out what the speckled band was. Alright then. I can't leave this cabin at the moment. I'm stuck here until we arrive at the next port. The captain has given me strict orders to guard the scene of the crime, you see. I'll have to entrust the investigation to you. Really? You're willing to do that? Yes, as long as you don't leave the first-class cabin area. I'm afraid I can't remove those handcuffs, though. Ooh, excuse me. But what about the captain? Aren't you going against his direct orders? I'm a man of my word. And I promise you that I'll lay my life on the line if that's what it takes to convince the captain. After all, I failed to keep Asogi-san safe. That is the least I can do. Thank you. Let's seize the moment then, Naruhodo-san. Just let's move so we can leave this cabin at last. Move. Alright, let's see what we can find out. Or I can keep talking with him. So what are your special orders this time, Inspector? Yes, and why were you dressed as a member of the crew? I'm so sorry. This is all my fault. I take full responsibility. For what? My orders were to act as Asogi-san's bodyguard. Oh, okay, bodyguard, who didn't do his job. It was Minister of Justice Jigoku who pushed for this overseas study tour to go ahead. And he entrusted me with ensuring that Asogi-san reached Great Britain without being assassinated. Assassinated? how could that even be a possibility? I'm not sure. But these are complicated times. There are tensions between the world's greatest powers. Minister Jigoku said we should be prepared for all eventualities. This is incredible. I don't believe it. Kazuma-sama was assassinated. Obviously, we couldn't give Asogi-san a visible security escort. Which is why I'm undercover now, posing as one of the crew. I see. And I didn't take my eyes off him the entire time we've been on board, from morning until night, every day. But I never imagined it would happen here, inside his own cabin. Not here on the first-class deck. I failed miserably at my assignment, and Asogi-san is dead as a result. I'm a disgrace, and all I can do is humbly apologize. Spectre. So if there's anything at all that I can do to help now, just say the word. I can't leave this cabin at the moment. I'm stuck here until we arrive at the next port. Captain has given me strict orders to guard the scene of the crime, you see. I'll have to entrust the investigation to you. Really? You're willing to do that? Yes, as long as you don't leave the first-class cabin area. I'm afraid I can't remove those handcuffs, though. What about the captain? Aren't you against his direct orders? The same dialogue as before, I think. Man of my word, okay. I promise you I'll leave my life on the line. That's what it takes, okay. Alright, let me double check and make sure there's nothing else in here I missed. Look around. I don't think this dude will talk to me. What? I was wondering if I could ask you a favor. Would you mind if I investigate a little outside? Grandmother told me Japanese people do not make jokes. But it is not true, I see. Sorry? The criminal asking prison guard to help him escape. Very funny. We're in the middle of the sea. There's no chance of me escaping. Yet, you stay in this cabin until next port. Then it is up to Hong Kong police to decide what they do with you. You stay. Alright. No point in trying to appeal this man's better nature. That's for sure. Don't think there's anything else in here. Okay. Okay, I think that's it for in here. Oh, I didn't mean to click that. Alright, I think I might stop here just so, because my voice is getting kind of a little bit out of whack right now. Dang, I clicked that again. Didn't mean to do that. Let's try and press the back button here. There we go. That's what I'm trying to do. So we can move to the passageway. Even to the next cabin. Okay. Yeah, okay, I'm just gonna stop here, that way I can get my give my voice a time to relax here, and I will continue this later. Alright. So that's the first part of this trial. Well, I assume it's a trial too. We're actually more like investigating right now, so... The first part of the investigation of the second case. Who killed Kazuma on the ship? We will continue the investigation next time. Thanks for watching. Now, yeah, like I said, this will be... I'm getting all out of sorts here. Thank you for watching. I will continue this later in the week. We now have Herlock Sholmes. Interesting character. Anyway, that's it for tonight. I'm gonna go take a nap. Take care, and bye-bye.